So when I say Adolf Wagner was an economist, he said that as state is performing old functions, it has to take up new functions also. Like for example, earlier it was working on PDS system, etc. What is PDS system? Class? What is PDS system?
Public distribution system.
Public distribution system. What is it actually? What is it? Class? What is it? Public distribution system मतलब क्या है?
मैम गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर करती है पुअर पर्सन को फूड्स वगैरह प्रोवाइड करने के लिए.
Barabar. The grocery etc. are distributed, right? So now when we say grocery is distributed, now Wagner's law of public, the thing says that, see, earlier they were spending on small things like rural schools, rural hospitals, etc. Now it has to take up newer expenditure like transport, communication, advanced health facilities, and advanced, when I say advanced healthcare, advanced education facility, etc. Right? It has to focus on computer literacy. It has to focus on ensuring the poor, etc. Right? Class, are you following? Any doubts? And as we advance, again, national threat or national security becomes a threat, correct? National security becomes a threat as we advance. And therefore, what happens? Therefore, what happens? Class. नेशनल सिक्योरिटी का जब थ्रेट होता है तो क्या होता है? Defense expenditure will have to be incurred by the state, right? It has to spend on soldiers, it has to spend on war equipments, etc. Right? Then inflation. This inflation is increasing at a very speedy level, right? So the government has to actually work on protecting the people by what happens here? Tell me. When inflation is increasing, real income of the people falls. Barabar? Class, are you?
Yes, ma'am.
So when real income
Yes,
falls,
ma'am.
what is the government doing? It is trying to provide allowances to employees, or it will provide maybe in kind, if not in cash, in kind. Maybe they'll give you food coupons to redeem somewhere. Maybe it will give you some, they'll provide you insurance where you don't have to pay the premium. The company will be paying you the premium, etc. Right? Now, urbanization. Again, urbanization, bola to everything else also has to be taken care of. What is it? Urbanization, bola to you're moving towards more advanced this thing, and people are coming for jobs to cities, etc. More settlement in the cities. So housing, communication, everything has to be provided to them. Infrastructure has to be reworked on. Correct? Development projects. Now, state also spends to accelerate economic growth. State spends a lot on development projects where it spends on heavy industries or basic development or any kind of public sector, say transportation, or say if it is going to spend more on steel sector, like SAIL is, constructing, SAIL has contributed steel to the construction of metro. So all these are again development projects that they are taking up. Are you following, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Apart from that, government also incurs huge public debt. Do you know what is public debt is?
Government borrowing.
Government borrowing, public debt, right? So what it does is, it is providing a lot of subsidies to the people in terms of food, in terms of fertilizer, etc. With that public debt, जो भी है, it is spending on the people, right? Huge public debt spent on people, right? And again, some countries like India, what happens? Elections, अभी भी election आ रहा है ना? Spending on elections, बराबर? Which is a huge sum of money that the government does, right? And they spend on other political heads also. Heads, right? Like, for example, government officials. Now, for example, if a government official, MLA or MP, right, he travels on a work-related issue to some other place, some other state, like say, for example, Gujarat, say he goes to, say Kerala, okay? So, wahan pe, do you think he will stay in a normal lodge? You will have to give him 5-star accommodation, correct? Are you following?
Yes.
Any doubt so far? This is why, these are the reasons why we have public expenditure increasing. Now, talking about canons. Canons are principles. Barabar, you remember we read about canons of taxation. Canons of public expenditure. Okay. Number 1. Canon of benefit, right? Means any public expenditure that is being spent or is proposed to be spent should be incurred for the expenditure should be incurred for the maximum benefit of the state or its people. समझ में आ रहा है? State बोला तो automatically it talks about the people, right? Or any particular section of the community. Secondly, canon of economy. समझ में आ रहा है class? All of you? मतलब every single penny cent spent should be economical or should be carefully spent, right? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Should be economical or carefully spent, okay? Canon of sanction. Canon of sanction. मतलब it should be sanctioned by the authorities concerned. You can't just उठा के ऐसे खर्चा नहीं कर सकते हो. It has to be sanctioned or it has to be approved. Then only you can spend. Canon of surplus. Canon of surplus talks about it should avoid a deficit budget, right? The budget जो है ना will be ideal. मतलब when I say canon of surplus जो है, like you have to spend as much as possible, right? And not save. मतलब जो tax collect किया ना उससे ज़्यादा spend करना चाहिए. Should not be making a surplus. Are you following? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No,
This
no,
is a
no.
very small chapter. I'll finish this and wind up for the day. Okay. You can solve public expenditure. Why is it important? First of all, to accelerate economic growth and development, right? See, if you spend on welfare projects, people will be employed. एक तो asset create होगा, maybe a road or a bridge or a flyover could be created. Apart from that, you will also be able to develop the economic growth by employing people, generating income, etc. समझ में आ रहा है? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Then 2, right? Infrastructure development, again the same way, infrastructure, transport, communication, everything can be developed, right? 3, balanced regional development. Again, see, if one city is not developed properly, another city is developed, then you can try here, balanced regional development possible, right? Are you following, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Poverty reduction, employment generation leading to income generation will be possible. This will help remove income inequalities, right? Are you following, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then promotion of education and health. Again, promotion of, if public expenditure is there, government can promote. Not everybody can afford an education, right? Think of the people who are living on streets, literally, right? They can't think of spending on education. जब food ही नहीं है, वो education पे क्या खर्चा करेंगे, right? So promotion of education and health facilities, right, can be improved. Any doubts so far, class?
No,
Clear? Clear, all of you? In India, there is a special importance for public expenditure. It helps you with social security measures. What are social security measures? Like old age pension, unemployment benefit, sybbi, to target those people who are poor and who are not able to even have their basic needs in life, right? To support lower income groups. Imagine if if vaccination is done only in private sector hospital, then what would happen? Number one, private sector hospitals will increase the price of the vaccines, right? And they will charge you up to 7,000, 8,000. ऐसे होगा तो क्या होगा? Do you think all of us would be vaccinated today? Class, I'm asking you. क्या हम सब vaccinate हो जाते थे?
No, ma'am.
No, right? Most of us would not have been vaccinated. So government provides it in government hospitals at a very low rate, affordable rate, or sometimes free of most of the thing, free of cost, right? Yeah, 150-200 maybe ho jata hai. Maximum, if it is going to be a public sector. Abhi unavailable hai, etc. Then maybe they will charge 150, 200, etc. That also government will not do. They will say there is no vaccination, but will not charge, right? Now, social insurance programs. Do you know Modi government had introduced a lot of social insurance programs?
Yes, ma'am.
Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, then Aam Aadmi Bima Yojana, etc. Right? All other governments also introduced, but they are going to be insuring you. समझ में आ रहा है? Class?
yes, ma'am.
So, this chapter is done. I will start with public debt in the next class. Okay? Any doubts so far? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So shall we wind up? Shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll wind up for now. And we'll catch up. Tomorrow we have 2 lectures, right? I'll take both the lectures tomorrow.